before we dive into the episode, we just want to give a huge shout out to our sponsor, Choircast. Just like the game of Survivor, Choircast is all about bold storytelling, taking risks, and amplifying voices that challenge the status quo. We are so proud to partner with a network that values authenticity, curiosity, and digging deeper, because that's exactly what we're all about here on Beyond the Torch. Thank you so much, Choircast, for making this show possible. Hello, Survivor fans. Welcome back to Beyond the Torch. Today, a very special day because we have none other than Boston Rob himself. And of course, I am here with my lovely guest co-host, Courtney Yates. I feel like I am among royalty right now. Like, you know what I mean? It's so good to see you guys.
So good to see you. Thank you. It feels like just yesterday we were ironing shirts together at Hearts of Reality.
I know.
I'll never forget that, Leslie. That was amazing. I remember I needed someone to iron my shirt, and you jumped in and you're like, I got it. I was like,
I know, you asked me, you're like, do you know how to iron a shirt? I was like, I do not, but I have Leslie. I have someone for it. I have a solution here.
That was such a
good
fun
to see
time.
you both.
Yeah, you too. Remember when we dressed up like Breakfast Club during that, and had a great time? It was such a good season of life. So I'm really glad to have you both here today. And we're going to, of course, dive right into your journey, Rob, and kind of ask you all the questions. But before that happens, we want to put a little spotlight on the fans. We do this segment every single time called The Fans Have Spoken. And what we do is we have them send us voice messages. And so you can do that if you're listening and you want to do that. We would love to put you on the show. All you have to do is go to our show notes. There's a link right there, and you can leave up to 90 seconds. And today, guys, we're going to hear from actually a friend of mine. I just met him in the summer. His name is Nathan Fuhrer. You ready? Okay.
Hey, Todd and Leslie, this is Nathan Fuhrer from San Diego, and I had to call in to let you all know my story about how Survivor has changed my life. I remember watching the show when I was 15 years old and thinking, man, it would be so cool to be a part of a tribe and just fit in. And I never really felt like I did fit in anywhere. I was always on the outside looking into the cool groups. And even as I got into my adult life, I didn't know if it was okay to love out loud the things that I really loved. But I loved Survivor, and I eventually found my way to the Survivor community, which you guys know is the best community out there. And just last year, I'd had enough of looking for a Survivor watch party in San Diego that didn't exist. So I started one. And here we are a year later. We've done so many amazing events, some great watch parties. Leslie, you were out with us this past summer for the San Diego FC event with Ethan and so many other reality people and some great fans. And it's just been a dream come true. And I feel like I have my tribe now. And it's just changed my life in such a big way. I have 3 boys now that watch the show with me and my wife, and raising some Survivor fans. And it's just been a great thing to change my life and grow a community and be a part of something. So I love what you guys are doing too, and keep up all the great stuff. Bye.
Aw, I love that. It's just amazing to me how a show can do so much in somebody's life, even just bring meaning and purpose.
True. I mean, it's amazing. Like throughout the years, it's crazy to think that literally it's been half of my life that I've been involved in this community in one way or another. I was a kid from Boston working construction, and it was wintertime, and it was like this advertisement on TV to go to a tropical island to try to win $1 million. And 25 years later, it's still going strong. But it's true, the impact that it has on all kinds of people, not even the people that directly play it, but just, the community at large. And it's nice to see some people that are able to, watch it, feel a certain way, and then actually take action and do something to enjoy it and pass it to the next generation, like Nathan's doing over there. So good for him.
Yeah.
Also, shout out to Todd. I know Todd's supposed to be here, but Todd was in our little group there at Hearts of Reality.
Yes.
And shout out to him for making all the pops. He actually made me one a few years ago and sent it to Amber and I, and amazing work what he's doing there too.
Yeah,
So,
he is. As a matter of fact, that's why he's not here. And that's why Courtney is filling in for him, because December, as you can imagine, is his very busy month. He said it. It's like
Way,
one
way,
long
way
day.
better looking substitution.
Yeah.
Way better
Oh,
looking.
thank you, praise. Thank you, Rob. Yeah, Todd made me a little Christmas ornament. I should have brought it out to show you, but he made a little Courtney, the challenge that I won on the dragon barrels or
gosh.
whatever. So it's
Yeah.
hanging on our little tree. And yes, as the runner-up of Survivor China, it's my job to step in whenever Todd is busy. I have to take over
You still have to do it.
responsibilities, you know. So
Yeah.
I'm
I
here.
mean, it's the cost of it. You know what I mean? It's what you have to do. You have to fill in. So
And
I actually have a funny Courtney story too. Courtney, she's so
let's hear
mad.
it.
She already knows what I'm gonna say. But every year, this time of year, when my kids were really little, when they were like, like 5 and 4 and 3 and 1, they watched the Elf on the Shelf movie, and it was the same time. I don't know what season. It must have been Heroes and Villains was on with Courtney, and they thought the little pixie Elf on the Shelf girl looked like Courtney. So every year now, when I watch the Elf on the Shelf, I always think of Courtney because I was like, my
Aw.
kids thought it looked like you. So
that's so
yeah,
sweet. I
and
love
Yeah.
it.
it's Christmas time.
He's
So.
like,
Well, when we were in LA for our finale for China, my youngest kids were like 6 and 8 at the time, and we took them to Build-A-Bear, and they built 2 bears, and one was named Todd and one was named Courtney. That's how much they love them. So Courtney, it's the stuffed animal theme here. I don't know.
you know,
So cute. We still have those, by the way.
that's so sweet. That's so
I
sweet.
know. I know.
Well, not to make it about me, but the only reason I was ever even on Survivor does sort of trace back to you and Amber on The Amazing Race, because my best friend from growing up watched you guys, and I'm also from the Boston area. Okay. So she was so obsessed with you guys that when Lynn came up to me at my job, I was like, oh, I'll go on The Amazing Race. I don't want to do Survivor, but I knew about that show because of you guys. And then, history has it.
One
Now
thing
here we
leads to another. Yeah.
Oh yeah. Well, Lynn had you in her mind. She was like, she's going to be on Survivor. She saw you. She knew who she'd put you with. It was insane how that worked out. And I'm glad it was my tribe. But let's talk about you, Rob. I want to hear, like, okay, so you're in Boston. You're cold. You tried to fit in a refrigerator, from what I recall. I remember watching you on Marquesas. That was the first year. Like, I had just sent in my first application. And so I was really taking notes now. Like, it wasn't just to watch it. It was like to see how people play. I was so impressed with how you play the game. So why did you decide to even do this? What was going on in your head?
I mean, really, like I'd watched the second season of the show was on at the time. The third season hadn't even aired. And Colby was like this all-American guy. And I remember sitting on my couch and being like, I would beat his ass. And my dad was just sitting there. He's like, oh, yeah, you think so? Why don't you send in a tape? And I was like, you know what? Maybe I will. So I did, got on the show. Colby's a great guy. But we went up against each other. And it's funny, that first season that I played the very first time, the Marquesas, it was a weird time. Like 9/11 had just happened in New York. Our season, the Marquesas season, was actually supposed to be in Saudi Arabia. A lot of people don't know it. It was going to be called Survivor Arabia. And right after the attacks on the Twin Towers, they switched it to the Marquesas in the 11th hour. And so they wanted to like get back to the beach, people watching TV, they wanted to make it fun.
Yeah.
And I actually went out there and like played in a way that was like completely unorthodox to what anybody had seen up until this point. They'd seen the first 2 seasons and that was it. And like they like revered like the strong Captain America guy. And being from Boston, the first thing I did when I saw this guy's on my tribe is, instead of being like, okay, buddy, me and you, or I'm going to be his wingman, I was like, well, as long as this guy's here, we got to get rid of him because I'm not going to have any shot. So from the beginning, like taking a shot at, his name was Hunter at the time, like it
He
put
was
a
so
lot of
hot.
heat on
I
me.
remember. Yeah.
Yeah, that's exactly
I was
what I was
like,
thinking,
"Whoa,
Leslie. I
whoa,"
was
like
like,
that. I
so
know.
hot.
You were like, I got to get rid of him.
No, but I definitely saw him as competition,
Yeah.
and I think like playing in a way that was against what everybody conventional thinking, what the game was supposed to be, kind of illuminated, a lot of attention. And I
Yeah.
think I understood strategy even better than the producers did at an early stage in the game, where they were interested in making a fun and exciting TV show, and I was interested in how I could win. At the same time, like, if I'm being honest, I don't think I was even so focused on winning that first season. Like, I was out there having a good time. I was splashing people in challenges when I should have been focused. I was a little bit playing the class clown. And it came to get me eliminated earlier than I wanted to be. But I remember at that finale, which they had it in New York and in Central Park, Jeff came through the hallways to talk to everyone, and it was like there were these rumors about if there was going to be the very first All-Star season. And I remember like saying to him, like, if I had a chance to go back again, I would be more focused. I'd learn from my mistakes. I wouldn't let the same thing happen. And I feel like I did for the most part, so it
Oh
worked out
yeah.
okay.
I think you did
Yeah.
pretty well for yourself.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
think so. How many times have you played now? I've lost count.
I think five times.
Survivor,
Yeah,
right?
And you came
5
back one
times.
time as a mentor, right? So
I
so
did.
I want you to like lead us down this
Ah,
imaginary story for a second. Imagine that you, Boston Rob, the mentor, go to the beach on Marquesas, and Rob, the new, never played survivor, is walking onto the beach. What would you tell him? What would be your best advice?
you have to adapt to your situation, but like, don't be afraid to take the shot when you need to. Like, a lot of like Survivor, I think, is like instinctual for me. Like, I
Yeah.
understand it. You pay attention, you watch what people do. It's not like so complicated.
Yeah.
But I think for other people, maybe it is because they put up like roadblocks or different things where they don't see the game the way I see it.
Mhm.
I'll tell you a funny story about that Island of the Idol season, the mentor season, because I know Sandra's going to watch this and she's going to lose her mind when I say this. But before that season started, Jeff called me and he told me what the idea for the season was. And I was like, okay, okay, okay. And he was like, listen, he goes, you don't have to live out there on that island the whole time. Like, if you want, we can shuttle you back and forth. Like, they have like other islands. There's no resort on that island, but they was other places. And I was like, hell no, dude. Like, if we're gonna talk the talk, we're gonna walk the walk. We're staying out there.
Yeah.
You're
Well,
crazy.
Sandra had no idea. So like I made the call for both of us. Like 3 days in, I was like, what did we do? Why
You
did we
won't
do
talk.
this? Yeah. But they made it pretty comfortable for us. But we stayed out there the whole time.
That's
So
amazing.
sorry, Sandra. I owe you one.
So
I
what did you think of those big statues that they made of you guys?
Yeah, it was
I love those
crazy.
statues.
Yeah.
I think they're the funniest.
Iconic.
I died when I saw it. And I said I was somewhere, I was like, oh my God, I love that season. And everyone's like, but there's like XYZ. And I'm like, did you see the heads though? Did you see the giant heads?
It's enormous. I mean, like, ego trip, like, for
I know. I
sure.
was like, "Ooh, wow,
Yeah.
okay, that's
And
kind of
then,
cool though."
and then people saw them, right? At the season 40.
Oh yeah, they did me no favors on
Yeah,
season
there's no
40 on the all
They
winter
let you torch
season.
it.
Was only a few weeks later, right? You'd think they would have put a big tarp up over it. We went to go do a press day, and they literally drove every single other winner from season 40 right by the statues on the way to the press day. I was like, bro, like, as if it's not hard enough, like, make it
Yeah,
impossible.
you just
Yeah.
want to blend in here. Well, but tell me, okay, so you sent in your tape and decided to try to go to casting. Do you remember much about casting? Is there any funny stories or things that you want to talk about from that?
So the biggest thing was like 9/11 happened right before. So we weren't sure before we got to the final 50. I mean, I was so close to not being on the show. Like, I sent in the tape, the videotape but they like the video. So they're like, okay, we're coming to Boston to like the local CBS affiliate. And they were like, we want to come and see you. And at the time, like I said, I was working construction, but in the wintertime in Boston, like when it snows, if you're a construction worker, you basically plow. You go plow the snow for the city. And the night before my interview, there was like a ton of snow. So I was out all night long plowing. And I came into the interview the next day not having slept. And it's like a camera in like basically like an office at CBS in Boston. And like, so tell me why you want to be on the show. I was like, what, this again? Like completely just like, okay, yes, no, like one word answers. So I was like, okay, thanks for coming in. And I left. I went back to work. The next day, I remember I was underneath the truck changing the oil and I got like cell phones were like new. It's like circa 2001, 2002.
Really
Got a
big.
call on my phone and it was, so this is something else that's interesting is Lynn Spillman didn't cast season 4. It's the only season of Survivor she didn't cast
You're
up
kidding
until
me.
she did it. No, I think she was having a baby at the time
I
or
was going to
something.
say, I
But
bet it was one of the kids.
Robin Cass,
Oh,
who
yeah.
was also a casting director, was a casting director that season. And Robin called me and she goes, "What happened in the interview?" And I was like,
no,
"What do you?"
that's
I was like, I go, "What do you mean? What happened?" And she goes, "Well, like, what was going on? You look like you're half asleep." I was like, "I was half asleep." And she was like, "Well, like the casting team's going to New York. Can you come to New York tomorrow to be on camera again to redo this?" And I was like, "What are you talking about? Come to New York? Like, I'm not coming to New York." And she's like, "I need you to go to New York." And I was like, "Can you guarantee that if I go to New York, I'm going to be on that show?" And she's like, "No, but if you don't come to New York, I can guarantee you're not going to be on this show."
Great answer.
So I was like, okay. So I grabbed a buddy. We drove to New York. We stayed up all night. We went partying. And I think I came in the next day still a little happy from the partying. And anyway, after that interview was good. And I got invited to the final 50. I mean, you got to understand back then too, they had like 40, 50,000 applicants, like
Yeah.
thousands and thousands of people applied to be on the show.
Yeah.
So,
I was one of them.
yeah,
I don't think we were running for the same role, but yeah, definitely.
yeah.
I was one
I
of those
was like,
applications.
I was just a cocky kid, like really, like the confidence was overconfidence and it was not justified. So we go out to LA and like we have like there's a bunch of meetings. They meet in the hotel. And then the big one is like you go to CBS. So this is the way it used to be. You go to like Television City and there was a big boardroom, right? And at the end of it were the two main guys. It was Mark Burnett and at the time Leslie Moonves. And I didn't know either of them. But I remember like people like from the sides asking questions. And at one point I was like, "It doesn't matter what you say." And they were like, "What do you mean it doesn't matter?" I was like, "You're not making the decision." And they're like, "Why? Why do you say that?" And I was like, "Because if you're making the decision, you'd be sitting right there in one of the two main spots." And everybody was laughing. I was just being stupid. And then when I left, like, I don't even remember what they said, but I left and I walked out and the casting director's like, "How'd you do?" I was like, "Oh, I'm on." And they're like, "What?" And they're like, "Yeah." I was like, "Yeah, I made it." They're like, "How do you know that you made it?" And I like turned around like just a stupid young kid and I flung the door open and then we're all still laughing. And I was like, "That's how I know." But I really didn't know. I really didn't. And
Oh,
and that was
but
it.
you
I
know
don't
what though?
know.
That
Just
attitude is
stupid. Yeah.
what they're looking for though.
it's a very
Maybe.
like
Yeah.
the Boston guy archetype is very
Yeah.
well represented and I am
Such a
incredibly
nice way to put it,
yes,
Courtney.
yes. Well, I'm originally from Boston as well, so like this, we have an affinity, a cultural affinity that
I
is,
know.
I am a North Shore girl. You're South Shore, I believe. Yes, so there's a little
City, but yeah. But yeah, you had this same but different but same. But that's
Same.
why you and I get along because
Yeah,
like the sarcasm is understood, you know?
It's so true. So, but it's you are such you represent our people so well, you know.
Good.
And I grew up
Thank
with
you.
I have 3 brothers. I had 4 boys down the street, like the whole thing. So I'm just like, oh, I know him. This is like,
Yeah.
you know.
Feels
Okay.
familiar.
So they call you for All Stars, and you guys are getting ready
All-Stars.
to go on. And this is kind of the season, I would say, that really changed your life the most. When did you
Yeah.
know? When did you know Amber was more than just strategy?
Not till I came home. Not till it was over. Yeah. I mean, no, it was never really strategy. It kind of just happened.
Right.
But you know, I was really focused on getting to the end and winning. Like that was like my goal. Like at all costs, I'm gonna keep my head in the game and I'm gonna do it. And then we got to the end, you know, we got there together. Obviously, like it started off like, you know, it wasn't anything, and then started off and started to build and have feelings and everything. And what a lot of people don't realize is like they think like, oh, I met on TV, I was on TV 39 days, I got engaged, I got married, and you know, whatever. But there was more time. Like we shot the show, I think in like maybe October, November, came home right before Christmas, and then got to know her outside of the game for almost 5, 6 months until the finale is like the middle of May, right? About the middle of May, end of May. Got engaged, and then I was engaged almost for a whole year before we got married. So even though the perception is that I was on the island in 39 days and that was it, it was actually longer. And actually, we have our 21st wedding anniversary coming up this year. Coming up.
Congratulations to both of you.
And
Yeah.
4
think that,
beautiful
like,
girls.
The old school, like the old Survivor seasons felt a little more like I think the new ones, it's like very much a game, right? Like everyone's just like you're playing it from you know, like a character or a strategy or whatever. But I think like before it used to be a little bit more like you're authentically living that experience. Like I don't know. I think what do you think, having played in all these different eras? Like,
Yeah.
do you think
Yeah,
now-
it's interesting. Like, you know, you raise a good point. It's almost like the relationship and the authenticity that they're trying to look for or trying to bring out now, it's almost like it existed back then, you know? I mean, look at things change over time, right? They do. Whether we like it or don't like it, like a lot of times, like you're always nostalgic for the way it was. I feel that, you know, but it's hard to say like exactly where the show is going and what it's going to be. I mean, if you think about it, in the beginning, there were not even there was no such thing as a hidden immunity idol up until, you know, like through All Stars. It was just strategy based, and that was it. And it became a little predictable, right? So they started to introduce more elements, and now it feels like there's even more. So one side of the argument is that without it, it would get stale and boring. And the other side of the argument is, oh, I like it the way it used to be. I mean,
It's hard.
I understand both sides of the argument. And I feel like it's either way, you're going to have people that are either for one way or the other way, and that's it.
Everyone lives to argue, you know?
Especially now. Oh my gosh. Yeah. No, I mean, people do argue about that. And I also think of, you know, they probably really needed to do something because it was getting predictable. But again, like it's so nostalgic to watch the older seasons and to remember how it just felt more real or something, you know, like a true experience, truly based on outwit, outplay, outlast, you know, whereas now I feel like there's outluck kind of added to it with all the.
I mean, well, look, if there's always going to be a strategic element, a physical element, and a social element. And the strategic element involves luck. It involves risk. Some players are better at embracing that, and others shy away from it. And I think that disparity is what makes the show great, right? Like
Yeah.
they put people that like one thing with people that like something else, and it makes good television, which is why, you got this person from this part of the country doing this, put them with this one, and, let it happen.
Yeah. It is
I don't,
interesting.
yeah.
We had
So,
Lynn Spillman on here and had a
yeah.
interview with her, and she talked about how she puts the tribes together. She literally knows when she's interviewing you and you've gone through all these, psychological evaluations. She knows like who will bring out things in other people, the conflict and who will go
Yeah.
wrong. And I just think that's so interesting how they do that.
I think they hope to, but like at the end of the day, like when you put them in the situation, that's kind of the real thing. Like on paper, you can draw up whatever you want, but I'm telling you, like any coach and any sports team on any given day in any given situation, anything can happen.
Oh, that's true.
That's a fact,
Well,
So
it's true. And I remember when they put me out there in China, I remember wanting to play like how I would play Balderdash with my kids and just like be great at the game because I loved the game. But I get out there and I'm, for one thing, sick as a dog. And then I like start to fall in love with all of my my castmate. Like they're just so sweet and so kind and loving. I mean, not, behind my back, but in my face they were. And it was just really hard for me. And I thought, I bet they didn't bank on this. Like, I think they thought I was going to go in there and really play the game. But man, when you're stripped of everything, a lot of stuff happens, So I don't know.
yeah,
What do you,
for sure. I mean, different people, like they react and it affects different people differently, right?
It does. It does. So how do you think you changed the most since the first season you played?
Oh, I mean, I'm 25 years old.
Aside from that.
I'm gonna be 50 next week, I feel like the same. I know I'm not, but I still feel like a kid. Like my wife, you think she has 4 kids, she got 5. Like I'm still number one kid at the house.
Love the self-awareness. Love it.
Yeah, but I like it, like I can't run as fast as I could, you know what I mean? I can't like whatever, but like I don't feel that much different. Like
Yeah.
I feel like put in back in the same situation, I can still figure out different ways. Like, I mean, I'm still doing it. Like I did the trader show, which is ridiculous. And like they put me everything, like but back against the wall. Like Courtney knows, kid from Boston's gonna fight,
Find the way. He's gonna find
He's
a way.
not running. He's not gonna run.
No.
So
We were pulling for you. I was sad,
yeah,
but yeah, it was
no, it
really
was
good.
fun.
I bet it was fun. That would be a really fun show to play. That's like a mafia kind of thing, And
Yeah, like
so
werewolf. Have you ever played werewolf?
no, but I've heard of it.
So like I played poker and a bunch of poker players introduced me to werewolf, and it's like a strategy. It's very similar, like strategy induced like social game.
Yeah.
It was
It's
pretty
probably
fun.
good practice for playing poker.
Yeah,
Learning
well,
that
I think
poker.
like for sure, like self-awareness is the most important skill in any of these games where there's voting or deciding who's to go home. You have to know how other people see you.
Do you think
That's
when you play these other games and then everybody knows you're Boston Rob from Survivor, do you feel like that just kind of like gives you a problem because like nobody wants to let you do it? You usually get over on that.
yeah.
Like it starts like harder and harder, I think, each time for you.
I mean, really, the smart ones are the ones that can think a level above, realize it's better to be in my corner and get with me. Like
That's
eventually you gotta kill me, right? But from the outset, if you're just like, oh, we gotta get robbed, we gotta get robbed, we gotta get robbed, it's not gonna end up good for you. That's not gonna end up good. That's not a good place to go be. I'm just no, it's not. It's a fact. I'm just telling you how it is. Like seriously, because like I can't because it's just like I'm going to fight for the people that are with me. I will always do that. I will always. We played on a tribe together, Courtney.
I know.
Like ultimately, you're my adversary, but while we're together, like I'm gonna go to bat for my people all the time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. That loyalty is so important in that game. And
In a
you know,
game that you're not supposed to be loyal,
right. And
right?
yet it's so important.
Well, you have to work with other people. And on
Yeah.
Heroes and Villains, I remember in the very beginning when Russell was like, we got to get rid of Rob. I'm like, you're confused.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not the one to talk to about this.
Yeah.
But it's also like you have to be able to separate like these games and this whole other world from like real life. And I think that's one thing I've always been good at being able to separate it. And people argue, say, yeah, well, when it worked out for you, you're able to separate it. Even when it didn't work out for me, like with Tyson's the reason, like he voted himself off and got me voted off. Tyson and I are good friends, you know? Like I didn't hold it against him. Me and Bob the drag queen on Traders, we went at it. Me and Bob the drag queen are friends. Like it's crazy, right? Like
Yeah.
completely two different worlds. I would never, you know? And it's like because I feel like other people that have that same mentality and that same respect for playing games are able to separate it and move beyond. And I think that's like a lot of people that play Survivor or Big Brother, any of the games, when it becomes their identity and it becomes the most important thing in their lives, and they can't like separate it, that's when there's problems. Feels
Yeah.
like.
Yeah.
Do you feel that's less common now? Or because I feel like it was more common that people would be really mad earlier. Now I feel like everybody knows it's a game and they just want to be frenzies.
I think so. Yeah. I think like,
I
well,
agree.
also like it's saturated, like back in the day when there were 8 seasons of the show or 7 seasons of the show, there were 80 of us, Now there's thousands across season 16 of whatever, like it's a lot. So,
Would you go to Australia? Would you play on the Australian Survivor?
they never asked me.
Rude.
Yeah. True
Oh,
story.
dang.
Yeah.
They should.
I don't know. They missed their opportunity though. I mean, like if there was ever a season, it already happened, right?
That's true. That's true.
Yeah.
Boy,
I'm
that would've been
probably not playing Survivor anymore. Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
But
No,
you
it's
know,
not. It's okay.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
it's my terms. I feel okay with it,
Yeah.
I agree.
Sure.
I agree with that.
No,
Sometimes it's nice to like enter a new phase of your life where you're like, you know what? I'm only going to do stuff if there's like a roof over my head and like, a caterer.
Very, very low threshold, Courtney.
Yes.
But yeah, a roof feels like a good one. Although I'm open to like adventures. So if there was an
I was gonna
adventure that
say.
didn't have a roof, I might be interested. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's true. I remember your Around the World in 80 Ways shows that I watched. You go down the side of a building in a window washing cart and have like a heart attack. I was like, this is too
Oh my
scary.
gosh.
And then now you're doing a competition show with your friend from the Traegers, yes?
I mean, yeah, it's fun. Dylan's great. It's not, yeah, I mean, it's not so much a hardcore, like we're just hanging out and everything turns into a competition. It's more of a comedy than it is a hardcore competition show.
That is
But
so
it's
fun. I love seeing
yeah.
them pop across like social media or even like television. I'll be out at a restaurant, you see a commercial, and I'm like, oh, there's Rob. I'm like, what's he doing?
Your
I know.
relationship with him is so dang cute. I love it. You guys are just bros. I just love it.
Yeah. It's weird. Somebody was saying to me the other day, every time you go on a show, you find someone. And it's
Yeah.
true. Like I find like my one person
Yeah, it's
from every show. But it's fun. It's awesome. I mean, we just we're hanging out and we're like, oh, let's do this. And it's kind of turned into a thing. So I'm actually going there tomorrow. And we're gonna go film more episodes.
Oh my
So-
God.
He comes
I
up
said
with
hello.
so this is how it works. He comes up with the ideas of what we're gonna do, and he always skews them so that he has an advantage. And then it's up to me to figure out a way to level the playing field. And it's not
Oh.
easy. I don't know if you saw the first episode, but he had like the little bowling instructor guy in his back pocket the whole time. So
Well, he's figured out how to work the system then, Rob. That's pretty cool. I like
he's
it.
working on it, but I'm
Does he have the
adapting
books? Rob's
quickly.
playbook? Does he have the guidebook? So like, using your own tricks against you, you know?
Yeah.
There you go. Oh, that's right. You wrote a book about that, didn't you?
First time for everything. Yeah, the book ended up being more of like a novelty fun thing than a serious, mostly because the lawyers at CBS said take all the Survivor stuff out of it.
No.
So it changed from like a hardcore strategy book into more like fun guides for life. And it's pretty
Well,
cool.
that's cool. Yeah. I
Yeah.
didn't realize that. I thought it was about Survivor. Interesting. Well, okay. So you have 4 beautiful girls who look, I mean, I think one of them looks more like you, but they mostly look like their mom. They're so cute and so
Yeah.
sweet. What are some values that, you want them to pick up by watching your journey through the years on Survivor? What are some things that you hope they see?
Yeah, lie, cheat, and steal at every opportunity.
I don't apologize for it. If it's a game, that's the way you play it. You have to respect the game and play the game, right?
I think like the most important thing, like I tell my kids all the time, is if you want something, you can have it. You're going to have to work hard for it. Don't quit. Don't give up. I didn't win Survivor the first time I played. It took me 4 times, but like if you have a goal, be persistent, and do your best. Survivor's like a really good like lesson in being persistent, facing adversity, not getting what you want, trying again, like a lot of risk versus reward, like some of the same lessons that are in poker, in Survivor, in business, relationships, like they really all go together. So there's a lot of lessons that can be learned. And I think, but I think at its core, it's a game about, the journey you take inside of yourself. Each person's on their own journey, and you go out there, you play it, you live it, and try to do it the best way you want to and you can. And know that even if you do everything right, there's still stuff that you have no control over, and you got to be okay with that. That's called variance. That's like in poker when you have the best hand and somebody else has a different hand, and there's a couple cards to come, and at the end, even though you had the best hand when the money went in, you ultimately lost. You can't account for luck. So
that's a really good point. And I think a lot of people who are like control freaks have a very difficult time. And I think those are the people that stay bitter, after the show. You really do have to let go and trust and know you've done your best. And, I think it's interesting though, you didn't do as well as you wanted to in your first season, but look at the doors that it's open for you because of your attitude, because you didn't, get mad and lick your wound. You know what I mean? You just were like, yeah, well, I did my best. And, and then you just kept going. And I think that says so much to all of us, to just keep going. You never know what doors will open.
I think so. I think even more important than like wondering about what doors are going to open, just don't close any doors. There's no reason to close doors unnecessarily, right?
Yeah.
Like I said, I'm going to be 50 this year. I don't know what I want to do when I grow up, but I'm leaving the door open. There might be something good's going to happen. You never know.
Well, I'm 50, so I'm going to feel the same.
I'm a lucky dude, that's for sure. I've always been lucky.
Yeah. Pretty cool career. So let's talk about that. So you're, okay, first of all, Survivor and then Survivor All-Stars. Did you have you and Amber weren't until after All-Stars, obviously. So on Amazing Race, what other shows have you done that we can maybe go back?
I mean, I've done a lot of different shows. Like I did the Amazing Race. I did, like Courtney said, the History Channel show. And then there were times in between doing TV where I didn't do TV. And like, I was okay. Like I went back to work construction like 5 or 6 years ago. I was running a track dump and an excavator on a beach in Brooklyn for a friend of mine who owns an environmental construction company. That's another important thing. I think like I have the ability to like be like, okay, like no TV work right now, go back work construction. Like, that's it. Like,
Yeah.
I'm not like in this mindset that like I'm like, and I think a lot of people can't handle that. And they, bounce from one charity event to the next because you get in a free flight in a hotel room, and then you wonder like, how do you take care of your family? So I'm pretty much like throughout the journey, I've been realistic about doing what I need to do, you know?
Yeah. And keeping your toe in the water of something else, not always depending on something that, like you said, has a lot of variables to it. Like you never know if something
It's not a career. Like,
Right, yeah.
I'm the exception, not the norm. Trust me.
100%.
Like, and
It's
like,
true.
I've been great with it and I love it, but like, it's something fun that I do.
Whole identity. That's like a recipe for
Yeah.
having, like, you're gonna be emotionally upset if you think that this is like
Yeah. If you think this is going to be the thing that makes you take off as a movie star or a superstar, yeah, 99% of us, yeah,
But
we're
I
in
still
this
do
spotlight
like,
for about a minute.
I do renovations. I have a renovation company, invest in different properties, fix them up, rent them out.
man, Rob. Like
Yeah.
you
I
do
mean,
everything.
I don't know about that. I don't even know what that means, but that sounds like something Coach would be, a Renaissance
Oh my
man.
god.
I'm a regular man.
100%.
uh,
We've got Survivor 50 coming up soon. What are your thoughts on that? Any?
yeah. I mean, it's exciting. 50 seasons, nothing to shake a stick at, for sure. 25 years is one of the longest shows on TV. So congrats to Jeff and Mark and, everybody that put it on the map. They're going to be mixed, old school. I'm excited to see some of the people that I played with, some of the new school people that I'm friends with now. Yeah, I'm excited to see it.
I'm excited too. And I do. I think it's just such an incredible thing. I don't know. I guess we all got this email from CBS, about Survivor 50, and thank you for being a part of it, and help us get the word out. And
I
we
didn't
got
get
that
the
email.
email. When did this email come? Because
It just came out. It came out last night, right after they did the announcement. Anyway, they probably just don't have your email, or they'll probably call you personally, Rob. They love you. And Courtney, you too. They're probably like planning on calling you.
Yeah.
But in a moment, like as I was reading it, I thought, you know what? I think I sometimes am hard on myself for only lasting 9 days, which longest 9 days of my life. And I tried as hard as I could, but I think
That's
I've been
like
hard on myself.
30% of the way in the new era, Leslie.
I know. You're right.
You basically made the merge.
Yeah,
I'm kind of a badass. Okay, let's just say it. So, but anyway, yeah, I was reading it though, and I thought, you know what, Leslie, even if you were voted off first, you were a part of something in this culture that not everybody can say they were a part of. Like,
For sure.
This is such an incredibly humbling thing to be a part of, and to get to meet the people, who've played it. And I love going to, I only go to one event a year, but I go to that one event every year. And it is like, I see people, it feels like a dysfunctional family reunion. Not just the people who played, but like the fans who go it is, to me, it's like, I'm always going to hold on to a little piece of Survivor, because it just was such a big part of my life, even though it wasn't a big time of life.
As you should. Yeah,
exactly.
as you should.
It'll still be the first line in everyone's obituary. It's like Survivor contestant.
Listen, like it's the one thing that bonds all of us, right? Like, and it is special, like I said earlier, it was only like 100, now it's like thousands, but still it's only thousands out of billions, there's 8 billion people on the planet. Like it's a small group when you really think about it, even though it's a large group, it's a small.
Also, like speaking of the endurance of that, these shows exist forever on Netflix. So someone's turning on the Marquesas right now, and they're just getting to know, like, young 20s Boston Rob, and and then it's humbling because, like, 20 years later, people are like, "Oh, you inspired me," and you're like, "Me? I did? Oh, okay." Like, what?
I was just trying to survive. I don't know what you're talking about.
But
It's true. Yeah, the show like has had an impact on a lot of people. I get messages from people, and it's it's awesome to be a part of something like that. You don't really think about it, you know, you're like, I was out there doing it, but for somebody, it made a difference. And
Yeah.
that's pretty cool.
Yeah. Yeah. And that's amazing. Well, I would love to see you play again, but I know that you're probably finished with that. But what would you love to do?
It's on Paramount Plus. Go watch whatever
Just watch
season
it
you
again.
want.
No, but I like seeing the evolution of Rob. I like seeing how you play different each time because you do. I noticed like once you had kids, you were a lot more I don't want to say paternal, but like it just felt like you were more like a dad would play instead of like the young 20. You know what I mean? I just seeing your evolution, and I think seeing as we, are now in our 50s, like what
That
did
is
you
kind
say
of
like
interesting
now?
because you were like, there is such a variance in like the stages of life. Like I did it 2 times. I was 26 and 28. No difference. It's the same.
Yeah, no, but you
Yeah,
did it
and I
more
think
now.
like life experience like plays a big part in it too, right? Like I remember when I won the season I won, Natalie Tenorelli was on the show and her and I became good friends, we're still friends. At the time she was 19. I can't even like in my brain like think about my oldest daughter's 16. Like in 3 years, is she ready to go play? Like there's no way, no way.
Right.
So it's like you need a certain amount of life experience. Like from a casting point of view, they don't want you to have it so that like you like are
Mess up.
uninhibited and make mistakes. But like I really do think the sweet spot is like mid 30s. Like I think that's about when I won. I think you have enough life experience, but you still have the physical ability. You can relate to both groups good. You can relate to the younger group and the older group,
Oh yeah.
I think mid 30s is like the sweet spot for Survivor. Not to say that it can't be done younger or it can't be done, older, because it can, and people have. But
Todd was 22, I think. So
yeah, Todd was young. But also like I think the lessons, the social dynamics and the psychology behind understanding the other people, that's remained consistent from the beginning. That has not changed. Like people fall into certain categories, and the people that are able to recognize that and to see the game through the other people's viewpoint, they're the ones that will always do the best, right? Because nobody ever went out there on that island to win Best Supporting Actor or Best Supporting Actress. They all want to win, right? Yet somehow some of these people go out there and they think, oh, we're an alliance. Like he's going to get to the end. He's going to help me or he's going to give me his vote at the end. Doesn't work like that. So you have to understand the psyche of the people and like you have to know what drives them. Some people are ego driven, some people are logic driven, know when to get rid of which people, know like who would give you your vote at the end, understand the bigger psychological dynamic of groups, right?
Yeah.
Like whenever you're in a group of other people or a tribe, if someone from your tribe makes it to the end with you sitting on the jury, you're less likely to give the vote than the other way around because it feels too personal, too connected. You're like, oh, you have to admit defeat. You have to admit this person was better than you. Like a lot of people don't think of like all of these different levels, but there's a lot that goes into it. And trainers too, like just in general. So anyway, I'm rambling here. But
No,
there's
you're
a
not. I
lot
love it.
that like you think about
Kind of
when you
what we
do
do
these
here.
shows. What's that?
So that's
Kind
like
of what we
kind of
do
what we're
here.
doing here.
It's a
We lost
podcast.
everybody.
No,
Everybody's
we want
gone
you to
now.
talk.
We're rambling. Like they love it. They love it.
They do
They
actually.
want to hear you ramble. This is like God.
Well, in what you were just saying, Robs, I thought about something that I think is also really important if you're going to play a game like Survivor, you can't be worried about what people are thinking about you. If you're constantly worried about
mean
how
the
you're going to be
audience?
portrayed, the audience. Because for me, that's where I really, really screwed up. I got out there and I was so afraid because I was a Christian radio host and I was, very Christian. I mean, I know that's why they put me on the show was because of that. And so I feel like I was so afraid to make God look bad. I was so afraid to say a cuss word on on national television. I didn't want to show my body. There was so much fear of how I was going to be perceived that I was not able to be in the moment. And so if you're going to go on the show, you really do kind of have to leave all of that at home.
Well, they make you feel like they can do anything they want to.
You don't know what the end is going to look like, but for the most part, they're going to stay true to like what you like. I've never seen them go out of their way to make someone look bad.
No.
I've never seen that. But here's the thing, what you're saying, Leslie, is like everybody has a different line in the sand, right? And whether you're going to cross it or not, if you flirt with that in your head, you determine where that line in the sand is. Like you draw that line in the sand, whether you're going to cross it or not, you're automatically putting handcuffs on yourself. You're creating this idea in your head and you're making it harder for yourself to play. You have to give yourself the freedom to just be yourself. Like what you said, I have never thought about, not one time on any show, like, how am I going to be perceived? What do I, like, maybe because I'm from Boston, I don't give a shit, but what do I care?
Very
What do I
authentic.
care?
No,
I'm
I
gonna do
agree
the way
now.
I do, and that's it. Courtney, you ever worried about how you were perceived?
No, and I think, Rob, we were both on the literal villains team. So I think neither of us gave a shit.
That was a mistake.
I
They
was
told me
Sister
after I
Christian.
was supposed to be on the here. Yeah.
I'm not a hero. But you know what? It was fine. It's funnier because like you got to feel like a complete like heel if someone imagine you're on Heroes and Villains. What were you? I was a hero. Like
Yeah.
I would never want to be a
Never.
hero.
Never.
No.
Well, I think too, it really, if I played now, it would not be the same. You know what I mean? Because I've been through, I don't even know if you followed my journey, probably not, but like I have left religion. I now help other people who are leaving religion. I have a podcast about it. I'm a coach. I wrote a book about it because I realized being on Survivor, it changed my life so much is why Todd and I decided to start this podcast is to talk about how the show can change somebody's life and just help them kind of wake up. And that's what it did for me. But, at that season in my life, I was very indoctrinated and I was very, I lived in a lot of fear. I don't live in that anymore. Now I'm like, dang, I feel like I was trying to be integrous, but in doing what I felt was integrous, I missed the integrity of the game. And I didn't play it the way it deserved to be played, which is outwit, outplay, outlast. You know what I mean?
Do you want to play again, Leslie?
I mean, of course I do. Yes, of course. But I'm way off the radar at this point. So but I think just
Why?
knowing that I would.
Tell me why. Why do you want to play again?
Because I want to play as myself. I don't want to play as Sister Christian. I want to play with this new desire, I guess, to show people that I love this game and that I will play this game and that I can do it and still be a nice person, but also be the conniving little hussy that I can sometimes be. You know what I mean? Like, I want to be able to be myself. I feel like I was sitting on myself. Like I didn't allow myself to be Leslie. I was too afraid and I just don't have fear anymore. So that's why I want to play.
Courtney, do you want to play anymore? You had enough?
I can't believe I did it once. Sometimes I did, and then people, it's like twice. Like what was going on with me? But it was a weird time in my life, and I was like, screw it, I'll do it.
Yeah.
Like to me, it was always like about winning and getting to the end. And once I got there, I didn't have the desire to play anymore. Like once I won, like when I went back to season 39. Jeff tempted me with the big statue and
The statues, yeah. I was like,
but
40,
even for season 40, the all winner season, like I knew like going out there, like I was like, man, like I have to go because of everything the show's given to me. But there was not like a burning desire, like I got to get out there and play one more time.
Yeah.
Even for 50, Jeff called and was like, like, what do you think? And I was like, I'm good. I've got like I did the journey and I loved it and I got to where I wanted to get to. Like to me, winning was the prize.
That's very healthy viewpoints that you have. But they contacted me for 50 and similar to you, I was like, listen, if you really want me, I'll do it. but I don't want to. And you
Yeah.
know what I'm like.
Again.
So I don't want to hear it. Okay. Like when I'm like,
Yeah.
it's like, you know what I'm like. I'm not going to be any different. If you really want, like, if it's a specific theme, like what if there was a jerk Boston tribe? Like I would have to be on that. You know what I mean? Like me and you and like, I don't know who else, Jeremy,
Brett,
Danielle.
Was he from there? Yeah. I mean, that would be interesting, but
beyond that, yeah, like I'm happy. Like I'm happy in my regular life. I love being with a roof, back to my low expectations. But I would love to see Leslie play again. I would love to see
well, I mean, if they ever have a season where somebody's changed drastically since they were on the first time, I hope to be first in line because I can't imagine anybody else. I mean, literally my whole life. I mean, I'm still the same person. Courtney knows, but like
maybe
my
have
outlook.
Battle of the Podcast, and you can go with Todd. You guys play together. Again.
There is something I think about playing this game and not winning and still having the experience of being on television and people seeing you that makes a lot of people need to get back to do it again and again, like it's weird. I like equate it a lot to like, the girlfriend in high school, like you want her, all you have to do is ignore her and she will come. And it's like, I feel like I'm the worst person because like, I don't care and the phone doesn't stop ringing, but the other way around, it's like, it doesn't happen. So I don't know if there's a magic, like way to figure out how to like manifest that for you
I think
again.
you just have to be yourself.
Just being myself.
Yeah.
I am not
But
waiting
putting
around
it
for the
out there
phone. I'm not
definitely
stupid.
helps, but putting it out there helps. Like if you want it, like closed mouths don't get fed. I would say something, so
Yeah. I also,
what's it gonna do? It's not gonna hurt you, right?
No.
I'd like to see you go out there and play again, Leslie.
It would be interesting. I admit, I would love it.
Yeah.
No, that's great. No, I don't know. I'm not sitting around waiting. Nobody, they did call me for second chances and they called me for Blood versus Water like a million years ago, but it never worked out. And but I wasn't in the right headspace then. I was still sort of in that religion. And so I feel like I would.
So why did you decide to leave that church? What church was it? Was it the Mormon church?
No. I know I live in Utah, but I am not Mormon. I was an evangelical, but I grew up in Christian fundamentalist religion. And going on Survivor, becoming very close with Todd and Courtney and, the people on the show, PG, the heathens, all the heathens that I was told, don't make an alliance with anybody unless they love Jesus, I mean, it was very, well, I came back and I started asking questions and I just wasn't, the answers didn't settle well with me. It took me years. I think in 2016 with the election and how the church got into bed with politics, it really, it sealed the deal. I left church in 2016 and then started doing this 5-year deconstruction journey. It was intense. It was very difficult. It was very quiet through the whole thing because I thought I was like possessed by a demon or something.
Is it like hardcore, like cult-like, or
Yes.
How did
I
you
would have
get
never
into
said
it in the first place?
when I was 10 years old, my parents, took me to church for the first time and I heard about hell. And if you don't ask Jesus into your heart, you're going to go there. And so of course I asked Jesus into my heart. But then I ran away from church and then I came back in my mid 30s, right around 9/11, because I felt scared and I thought this is the only foundation I've ever known. So I went back and really fully immersed myself and started doing Christian radio, writing books, doing Bible studies, everything. Went on Survivor, known as Sister Christian, and then started asking the questions. And then when I did my deconstruction journey and started really looking at when the Bible came about, who wrote the Bible, because I was always told it was God's word and he wrote it, but actually it was men. And quite a few of the female books were left out. I started seeing things for what they really were instead of what I was indoctrinated to believe. And it just completely blew it all. Just complete. And then when I started asking these questions, my church voted me out. And I was like, whoa, this is
What
harder
about
than
your
being voted off.
family? What about like your husband and your kids and stuff?
They're all on the same page as me, 100%.
They
No,
were
my
before, or you're the one that led them to that?
I think we all sort of came to it at the same time, for
Yeah.
different reasons. My husband never really bought into it, but didn't tell me that. He just kind of said, "Whatever you want, we'll do." And I think having that experience with them has helped me to go, okay, I'm not crazy. Like this really was a cult, and I call it that now, but I would never have said that before. I would have said Mormons were a cult. I would have said, other people were in a cult, but I wasn't until I moved to Utah 7 years ago, and I was like, damn, they're acting just like I act. Wait, they're saying the same things I say. Oh my gosh, am I in a cult? Oh my gosh. Like it just like it was one thing after another. So yeah, big long story. Put a book about it if anybody's interested.
So maybe like Survivor like gave you the awareness to
Yes.
like realize this and make a change in your life. It's
100%.
better for you and your family.
It's given me so much. Like I can't even, I'm so thankful for the experience. Even though it was only 9 days, it was 9 days that completely changed my life. Eventually, it took years, you know what I mean? And it took a lot of courage and it took a lot of hate. I mean, I get hate every single day from people, who
From the
love
loving
me.
Christians,
Well, I thought it was unconditional love until I realized, oh, wait, okay. It's very
Yeah.
conditional on your beliefs. You have to
No,
believe the
that's
same.
awesome.
Yeah.
And on the other end of the spectrum, Courtney, how's the new cult you're starting going?
Lovely.
She does astrology. She's not in a cult.
Courtney, one time I was in New York, she said, sit down, we're going to talk about your stars. And all lined up this week. I was like, hey, listen, I'm from Boston. We grew up Catholic. We got our problems, but I'm not joining that nonsense.
I'm curious about all religions now, all ways of thinking. I love what she's doing.
Astrology is not a religion. It is a medical science and a storytelling. I teach
Yes.
math class at the college I work at. So that's what I'm doing.
It's all very scientific, like Goodwill Hunting S over there. Fucking equations and shit. All right. Listen, I got to bounce because my kids are coming out
we
of school.
appreciate it. This was
But
great.
it was good to talk to you guys.
Yeah, you
Get to see
too.
your face.
Yes, we
Yeah.
love you and we appreciate you. And thank you for sharing your journey with us. It was awesome.
Amazing. We'll see you
Have
guys
a great
later.
day. Yeah.
Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
And happy birthday.
Yes.
Thank
happy
you.
birthday. Oh my goodness. Well, that was kind of fun, huh?
It's so sweet. It's always fun to catch up with like the old friends that you feel like, oh, I saw you the other day, and you're like, oh wait, it's been like a long time, but we all,
Yeah, it's so neat. It's so cool. Well, I guess I forgot to ask him if he was going to be on Dancing with the Stars. I heard this freaking rumor. I was like, I was going to ask him that. I wonder if that's true.
But then I thought maybe it was like a little bit presumptuous, so I didn't want to put him on the spot. What I actually hope is that we see Rob and Amber on Dancing with the Stars, and they can be once again the final two
competing.
And go who's the
Yes,
that's kind of my
throwing it out
my
there.
goal.
I love it. That's fun. But I also wanted to ask him, and I'm just going to ask you this because he's not here anymore. When you first saw Rob, did you know Rob before you were on a tribe with him?
We had met at one of the charity events. He and Amber were there, and like I was with Todd, and I was like, oh my God, I told the same thing I already said, like, oh, my friend watched you guys on Amazing Race, and that's like kind of how I got mixed up in this.
Mm-hmm.
And he was like, yeah, all right. But it's funny because I grew up outside of Boston, but Rob's from Boston, but there's so much familiarity.
Yeah.
That like when we were put on the same team, it's like, it's like you have an affinity to like, I recognize all of his like behaviors and mannerisms, like, we're kind of like laughing at the same stuff.
Yeah.
And
I was going to ask you, like, what drew you to him? Because you guys have a really sweet relationship, a good friendship from that season.
He's like I swear, like, I'm not sure we're not related sometimes because like I have 3 brothers plus my neighbors, 4 boys, they're Italian boys, Finicchiaro boys. So I grew up with like all these like older brothers, And
Yeah.
so he like kind of like clicked right in. I have kid sister energy. I feel like I
Yes.
really like embody the
Yeah.
archetype of little sister, which is
Mhm.
like not often represented. There's like, and for women, it's like there's moms, there's like sexy ladies, there's, whatever. But then it's like bratty little sister. Like that is totally my vibe. Like I'm complaining. I am like, front seat. I don't want to, I want the window. Like, and the thing about big brothers is they'll give it to you. So like Rob was the
Wow.
exact same. I'm like, hey, do this. And he's like, yeah.
Oh.
So
Oh.
yeah, it feels so, and I think like the two worlds, like the world of origin that we both come from, and then the world of Survivor, it's like because those things are now crossed, it's like there's just such a natural affinity, you
Yeah.
know?
No, I
Um,
sense it when we're all together. I'm like,
mhm.
it's cute. It's kind of like how your relationship with me on Survivor. I was very drawn to your little sister energy,
Yes.
as well. And but not in an annoying way, but in more of like I connect with her. I feel like we have a lot in common, as far as nothing in common, but we have the same heart. Maybe it was the astrological thing you were telling me about.
Yeah, there's definitely a lot of stuff, but I think like the continuous thread with you, Todd, Rob, Sandra, is everybody is very authentic. Like this
Mhm.
little crew is like you kind of are what you are. And like Rob was saying too, it's like, at a certain point in the game, you have to like kind of start,
Yeah.
like it's everyone's playing for themselves. But I knew that, I'm like, he's gonna look out for me.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. I'll
I'm
just believe
good,
that whether or not he will.
yeah, like,
Yeah.
and it's just like, it just it was just really, it's like a natural friendship just because of like, like we know all the same like goofy references and,
It felt
there's just so
safe.
much stuff.
There's a safety I think that we all look for when we're on Survivor, to feel like I can really just be me right now. And I felt that with you. And I have a feeling he probably did too. And probably Sandra and, Todd, all of us. I think we're able to feel safe. And that to me is, the epitome of the kind of person that I want to be around is somebody that I can 100% be myself and not feel judged.
Yeah. I also just think like the sense of humor, like Rob's
Well, that helps.
he's
Yeah.
so funny. Like he's so funny.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, anyway, so
Well,
always fun
thank
to catch
you.
up. I feel like honestly, there's like you guys feel like family to me more
Yeah.
than than anyone,
Yeah.
because it's like who else can relate to these weird experiences
I
that
know.
we've had.
Yeah. Yeah. It's pretty cool. Well, this is your last episode with me as a co-host for now, maybe in the future. But I have had the best time doing this with you, and it's like you're a pro. So thank you for doing this. And I know I'm going to be so happy to have Todd back. I just texted him yesterday. I was like, okay, I miss you, but Courtney's killing it. She's doing a great job, but we really miss you. And he said, I miss it too. So we'll definitely have some fun once he's back. But thank you for what you did. And
My pleasure. Thank you, listeners. Thank you, Brian, Tina, and Rob for being my guests.
yes,
And yes, whenever Todd is unable to fulfill his duties, I will
give you a call, my friend. 100%.
And you have to go down the line, right? So but yeah, so thank you so much, Leslie. This has been lovely.
Yeah, of course. And thank you for listening to Beyond the Torch. We appreciate you so much. And if you want to leave us a voicemail right there in the show notes, if you want to email beyondthetorch@gmail.com. Well, everybody, thanks for listening. And we will see you next time right here on Beyond the Torch with Todd. He will be back with me.